everyone, and welcome to Cheese Chat. I'm Tank the Rat, the one who has never ever been to space. Joining me now is my co-host.
Yeah, and I'm Ozzie, who knows what happened before we hit record, and you don't, ha 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 ha. You guys don't know, but we do.
So on that note, today's episode is about space. More specifically, E.T., more specifically, extraterrestrial, more specifically, aliens from space. And do they exist? The government says yes. I say maybe. Anyway, what are your thoughts on space aliens, Ozzie?
Yeah, you guys will never guess who picked the topic for today's podcast. So my personal, thing on aliens is that they don't exist. They're not real. It's been scientifically a whole thing, a whole spiel on how they can't exist in the circumstances and whatever. I don't believe in them.
And I liked believing when everyone was saying that they didn't exist, and now, the government just straight up is like, oh yeah, actually aliens do exist. And now that just makes them boring, because in my opinion, it was way more cool when they were a mystery. And now it's like, oh yeah, they're here, by the way. But it's like, since they've said that, we haven't seen any, so I still think they're not real, but I think they are real. I think that I want people to go back to thinking they're not real so that I can think they're real again,
Yeah, but Tank, see, the thing is that the simple conclusion is the government is wrong. Because the government is always lying and the government is always wrong. Hey, kiddies at home watching the podcast.
Okay, we are not going to try to say anything about that. Ignore Ozzie, okay? Kids, develop your own opinions on the government. Don't let us influence your decision the way Ozzie is trying to right now. Why are you evil?
Whatever.
Anyway, I think aliens and the concept of life in space is actually really cool. Because, I think it's really funny how we all just assume that the aliens would be, super intelligent and way cooler than us and, have all these cool powers and stuff. But, what if there was life in space and it was actually, worse than us somehow? It was worse than humanity.
Elaborate.
What if there was life in space and they weren't as intelligent and they weren't as far advanced, with their technology and stuff? And what if they were just also, I don't know, they're looking at other planets and being like, I wonder if there's life on Earth.
Well, to be honest, that's probably what it is. If it was scientifically proven or whatever, or if it was detected that there was other life on Earth without you-know-who saying that it is, but not given any clarification or context, it would probably be bacteria or something just residing on another planet that's somehow adapted to their strange temperatures and everything.
You just made that so boring. Why do you take everything I love and ruin it?
Well, that's just how it works, buddy. Have you never taken astronomy in sophomore year of high school?
I was not in high school. I was exploring the world.
Oh, brother. So that's where you got the brain injuries.
You know what? We're not gonna start that on here. Anyway, I think aliens are so much cooler when, they weren't proven to exist. I liked when there was mystery behind them, and we didn't know whether or not it was real. Just like Santa Claus, who now has been confirmed as real, and, he was so much cooler before they said he was real. Because now that they're saying he's real, I am concerned that some old fat guy is watching me while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, but Tank, see the thing. Wait a second. What about Santa Claus?
Well, I mean, he's real. And I liked when I didn't know if he was real or not because then it was all a mystery. But now it's like, oh, he is in fact real. He is the one bringing me presents each Christmas. And like, the mystery is gone because I know who brought the presents. I liked waking up and seeing a gift and being like, I wonder who put this here. Could it be Santa? Who knows?
Tank, where is your source material for this?
It's all just. This isn't a college essay. I don't need to cite sources.
Tank, where are you getting the information that Santa Claus is real?
Well, who else would bring the presents?
You meaning to tell me that you still believe in Santa Claus?
Of course I do. He is real. And I might remind you that there are children who listen to our show who also believe. And children, if you believe in Santa, please comment, I believe in Santa. And that way the Santa train can keep going. And we can misprove this Ozzie who just thinks he's right about everything.
Bah humbug.
But it's not Christmas time, so let's get back to our topic. Aliens. Okay, I love aliens and I love alien movies, you know? But one of my favorite alien movies is The Men in Black, because it's just a really cool movie series. And so that got me thinking. If you were to join the Men in Black, first of all, how would they find you? Like, how would you find them? How would you, like, become known to them as a potential agent? And what would you bring to the team?
Oh, man. Why are you asking me this?
I just want to know.
That is, like, multiple questions at once, and that is very, like, go on to, what's it called, go on to, I don't know, fanfic.net or something and read about Men in Black self-inserts. Don't ask your old pal Oswald about this
Okay,
stuff
because
that
I
don't
know
about.
exactly what it would be for me, okay? So, personally, I feel like I bring absolutely nothing to the table for them.
You
Like,
never
there's
do.
nothing
That's correct.
that they need. But I think that I would end up finding the Men in Black by accident. So, like, in the movie, they have, like, their base, and it's hidden in this building in New York. And you just enter the building, and it's this long hallway. And there's this one security guy who will either let you in or, you know, kick you out or whatever. I feel like I would just be wandering around New York and then be like, oh, I need to use the bathroom. Let me find a random building. And I would go to that building, and then I would walk in and be like, hey, where's your bathroom? And they'd be like, we don't have a bathroom here. And I'd be like, what kind of building doesn't have a bathroom? And they'll be like, well, we have one, but you can't use it. And I'd be like, why? I mean, I really need to go. And then I'll be out of your way, and you don't have to see me ever again. And then they'd be like, no, you're not permitted to go in here. And I'd be like, fine, whatever, let me just go to the exit. But then I would accidentally stumble backwards into, like, a room, and then I would end up, like, seeing everything and all the secrets. And then they'd be like, hey, we're gonna wipe your memory. And I'd be like, no, you're not. I'm just gonna run away from you. And then they'd realize how fast I am, and they'd be like, ooh, that's a skill that we can use. And then I'd be like, yeah, well, I already know all the secrets, except I don't, because all I see is a bunch of guys in suits, so I thought this was a business conference, but whatever. And then all of a sudden an alien would come up to me and be like, whoa, and I'd be like, oh, whoa, it's an alien, that's cool. And then they'd be like, you're not fazed by that? And I'd be like, no, I think it's super cool. And they'd be like, whoa, you should totally be on our team. And then that's how I would join.
So basically, that turned from, hey, Ozzy, you want I want to ask you some questions about Men in Black, to, let's all read about, Tank's self-insert Men in Black fanfiction. That's what that just turned into.
It could be real at some point in time. You know, I just have to stumble upon the right building. So far, I haven't. But, you know, one day it will happen.
I don't think that's how it works, buddy.
Well, it's how it's gonna work. Someday. Because I believe it will. If I believe enough, it will happen. I think. I don't know. I don't know how
This
believing
isn't. Yeah,
works.
no, this isn't Peter Pan, babes. This is Men in Black.
Okay, well if Peter Pan is real, then this can be real.
I don't think either of those are. Forget it.
So, how would you join the Men in Black?
Simple. I wouldn't.
Well, let's say hypothetically you did. What
Let's
would
say
you?
hypothetically I didn't.
Well, I'm
Then
saying
there is no
hypothetically you
universe
did.
Ever where I would join the Men in Black, because I'd look at them, and even if they got on their hands and knees and begged for me and to join in their lovely suits or whatever, I'd be like, guys, look, there's a nice big cup of coffee waiting for me at home, with my nice dinner that came from my microwave and all sorts of other good stuff. There's also a good book waiting for me at home in my favorite, most comfy armchair.
See, and that's
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
be doing that while you guys get trauma for the rest of your life.
You having nothing to do but reading books is exactly why they would choose you, because you don't have a life. So you've got nothing to lose.
Nope. Don't you start that with me with, oh, all you have to do is read books. No.
I don't sound like Mickey Mouse.
No. No. I have a life, and it's called working for all of you Looney Tunes every single day. Of course I'm going to go home and sit in silence and read books, because my head is ringing from your voice all the time, every day. And when I don't hear your voice, where are you? Slacking off, eating all the food in the lounge room? That is why you need to go join the Men in Black, because you don't even do work over here anyway.
You know, some of us need to keep energized, and we need more food than others, and that is how I stay energized. And also, the Men in Black would be honored to have me join them.
Do you call being energized sitting around watching YouTube videos on your computer that was supposed to be used for business purposes during the day? Do you call that being energized?
You know what, Ozzie? I do, because I happen to watch those YouTube videos for research, so that way I know what we should talk about in this podcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the same cat video compilations over and over, as well as old 90s America's Funniest Home Videos. I'm sure those are certainly amazing topics that you have never ever brought up that have great research for our podcast.
You know what? 90s America's Funniest Home Videos is where Airbud got his start, and Airbud is most certainly a topic that we will discuss on the podcast someday. Mark my word, Oswald.
Alrighty, how about you prove it to me someday, cantankerous?
You know what? Gentlemen, please stay on topic. I hate walking by your office and seeing you not working. You know, the network's not gonna like that, and I'm gonna have to report you guys, and you know how much I hate doing that.
Okay, sir, yes, sir. We got it. Alright, thank you.
Alright, bye, Phineas.
Bye, Phineas.
You got us in trouble.
Yeah, I want to know what I want to know, and this is really an alien sort of mystery. You're always talking about, oh, I want the mysteries to keep staying alive. It's really a mystery how Phineas only gets on us for slacking off when I'm involved. Not when you're doing it on your own. It's only when I'm doing the podcast with you. Somehow it's always me. Oh, it's always Ozzie's fault.
Well, I guess it's because you don't know how to play your cards right.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you think it's all about playing cards, don't you, buddy? Isn't playing cards what people do when they ain't got nothing to do?
You know, I happen to know exactly how to get Phineas off my back, and that is with just the right amount of bribery.
Yeah. and just the right amount of hypnosis too.
Don't start that again.
Yeah, good idea.
We got some
It doesn't
complaints.
matter. I'm still mad at you, and I still think it's a mystery how you're still employed.
Do you want me fired? Do you want me
No,
gone?
I didn't. Tank,
Want
I
me
didn't say that.
gone?
No,
You want me
no,
gone?
I didn't
You don't
say
like
that.
me. You don't like working with me.
No, come on. You know that's not true. You know I'd be bored all day if I didn't have you up in my ear trying to tell me stuff all day.
Yeah,
You
that's
know that I'd
true.
be so bored.
That's true.
Can you imagine having to deal with everybody else in this group if there wasn't you to be the glue and the anchor?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe that's why you can't join the Men in Black. We need you here too much.
Well, I hope so. But maybe one day I will join the Men in Black.
Maybe one day, but how about you keep hoping, but don't get them up too hard, okay?
Okay, so let's get back to our topic then, the aliens.
All right.
What do you think would be, like, if you had to describe how you think an alien life form would be from let's go Neptune. What do you think people from Neptune would be like?
Oh, that's a good one, but I like that you specifically chose Neptune. Very cold. Very, very, very cold-blooded. No, not cold-blooded creatures, because they need, like, heat lamps to stay alive. Things that are very resistant to cold. Probably something along the lines of a water bear. If a water bear was bigger, maybe bigger. Something like a water bear. Being able to withstand extreme heats and colds with minimal food and water. That would most likely be whatever's on Neptune. And they would have to be able to consume the ice, especially because the ice is so toxic. It would have to be something that benefited off of things like methane and other sorts of chemicals that reside on Neptune and things like that. So, yeah, it would have to be something that was mainly chemical based in terms of diet, and it would have to be able to survive the extreme cold, sort of like a water bear.
Interesting. I think that's a good take. I think so. I also think that, that being said, do you think, this is my next question, do you think that they would ever desire to come to Earth? And if so, how would they do so?
Well, it depended if they had a mind that was intelligent enough to identify that there are other life forms out there, or that there are other planets. They would have to first be able to go through the simple processes of understanding astronomy, sort of like we did with, like, Galileo and everybody. They would have to sort of figure out that there are multiple planets and the Earth rotates or that everything rotates on axes and we all orbit around the sun and everything. They would have to figure all that stuff out before they could really come to the conclusion that there are other life forms. And choosing which place to look would be hard too, because we've been able to figure out the certain temperatures of things and stuff like that, and all the sorts of different types of chemicals and everything that reside on the places, because we've had the technology to be able to go look at it. It would take them a long time to be able to develop the sort of technology that we've been able to gain.
Good to know. Now, I would like to change course and talk about what I think life would be like on my absolute favorite planet, Pluto.
Your favorite planet is Pluto?
Yes, it is the best planet, and the only planet aside from Earth that I truly care about.
Yeah, but Tank, Pluto isn't a planet.
Don't start with that! It is, in fact, a planet.
I'm sorry, it's not a planet. It's closer to an asteroid.
You know what? It's people like you who have the Plutites mad, and that is why they are planning to wage war against the Earth.
It's been confirmed. I'm sorry.
I think the only ones who should be able to confirm it are the Plutites on Pluto, and I will tell you all about them.
Go ahead.
So, the Plutites are these wonderful, wonderful dwellers on the planet Pluto. And they all have, well, because Pluto is a small planet, they are all a lot smaller than we are on Earth. Well, and by we, I mean humans. I am a rat, so they're probably about my height. But they all also love to have fun. They are a party planet. However, you do not mess with a party planet and their planetary status, because that will make the party planet mad. And when party planets get mad, they get vengeful, and then they will take out all their anger on whoever wronged them. And you know who wronged them? Earth. Earth wronged them by taking away their planetary status, and so now all the Plutites are mad, and they are all gonna come and attack Earth one of these days. They're just building up their armies right now and training and building up all the necessary weapons, and they do have the technology because despite being party people, they know how to build some weapons, and they will take over Earth. The planet Pluto is going to attack Earth.
Okay, thank you for story time, Tank. Yay!
You might not believe me now, but you'll be sorry when they come.
You did such a good job making that up all by yourself.
It is fact. They exist, and they are out there.
What a smart little guy you are, buddy, to be able to make up such an interesting
I didn't
story.
make it up. I asked Nebula.
Oh, wait, who?
Nebula. You know, the space dog that sometimes hangs out?
Oh, yeah, he totally slipped my mind. He doesn't come around often anymore.
Yeah. He doesn't. Unfortunately.
What was Nebula, though? He ain't ever gone to Pluto?
Well, you know, Nebula might not have stayed on Pluto very long, but he's vacationed there before. Like I said, it's a party planet. A lot of people go there for vacations. Well, a lot of
How old is
space
Nebula
people.
again? Like 8?
Well, yes. But he's,
Maybe even
you know,
younger?
8 in space years, which could be anything for us. We don't know. I don't know how his species ages.
I don't know. He acts like a little kid.
But he said he went to Pluto, and he told me all about the Plutites, and I want to visit the Plutites someday.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, because you ain't got no context to it, there's a little guy who comes around sometimes. He hasn't come around in like almost like a full year. But like, yeah, his name is Nebula. He's like Tank said, I guess a space dog. He's just a little guy. He comes around to play with Frankie sometimes. He seems really, really enamored by Earth, despite being over here a lot more than he is on any other planet. But that's who Nebula is. You have zero context to who that is.
Yeah, but now you have context. And for those of you who are wondering, did my knowing Nebula ruin my opinions at the beginning of the episode? No, it did not. Let me explain here. I knew aliens existed because Nebula existed. I just liked before everyone in the world knew aliens existed, because then it was like a cool mystery and like nobody knew except for me, and then people would be like, "You're lying. There are no aliens. This is just a bunch of conspiracy theories. You're making things up, Tank." And I would be like, "No, he is real. Look." And then he would not be there, and people would be like, "See, I told you. You're making things up." And I'd be like, "No, I'm not." And it was a whole thing, and it was a fun bit. And now that people know they exist, it just kind of brings down the fun. And so yeah, that's my statement. So it still confirms. Just to make sure we're still clear.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I think that Tank is getting a little bit confused with the Sesame 3 episode over here. You know, sometimes his brain gets jumbled because he was dropped on his little sweet head when he was a little baby rat. So sometimes things that he says get all scattered.
You know what, Ozzie? I may have been dropped on my head, but at least I had a head to be dropped. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Oh
to
my goodness.
insult you, but I had
You see what
nothing.
I'm talking about? He's over here. I don't even know
I
what
had
I'm talking
nothing
about.
to
You see what
insult
I
you
mean,
with.
ladies and gentlemen? This is a perfect example. He walked straight into the example. But yeah, either he could have come up with the whole excuse of, oh, well, it was only fun before, nobody else knew, or it could have been that Tank just totally forgot that Nebula existed.
Why would I forget my friend Nebula?
The silence before you answered that truly, it
I was
truly
drinking some
answered the
water.
question.
I
You're
had to
over
take a
there
water break.
laughing. Look at you. You are
I
over
would
there
never
full on
forget the Neb
laughing.
Man.
You are laughing over there. It is so obvious that you totally forgot
When
about
am I
Nebula.
not laughing? When am I not laughing?
Look at you. You can't see this, folks, but he's over there with like the biggest grin plastered on his face. He's over there like gasping.
Yeah, well, at least I have a grin.
Yeah. He's laughing. He's totally laughing.
At least I have a grin.
What is that supposed to mean? I'm over here laughing with you. I'm smiling with you. What are you talking about?
You know what? You know what? We're so off topic. Let's get back. Let's get back. Do you have a favorite Alien movie?
I'm so classic. You know me. I'm with the classics. I'm with the simple stuff. I really like E.T. I always have.
E.T. is good. It's a good one. I mean, I already said my favorite Alien movie. Do you think that aliens, aside from Nebula's species and the Plutites, do you think that they would be insulted if they saw the way that Earth makes movies about destroying aliens?
Probably. But also, I think that since we obviously know now that I remembered Nebula's existence, and so did you. We both really know that, like, we don't know a lot about aliens, and at least Nebula's kind. They're an intelligent species, and like Nebula, have you seen Nebula get like so confused about like very, very simple Earth concepts? Like that's the way that we are about the rest of the world. So if they can't comprehend things about us, then we can't comprehend things about them. Isn't that fair?
Yeah, it is. That is a fair point. That is a very fair point.
We are aliens to them. Everything that we do is completely foreign to them, so they probably made up a bunch of assumptions about us as well.
That is, that is true. I am very curious what kind of movies, if other planets have movies, what kind of movies they would make, or stories they would tell about Earth beings.
Oh man. What a very stereotypical human things.
I'm not human, so I wouldn't know. I'm a rat.
That's fair. Well, Earthling things.
Typical Earthling things. Wearing clothes.
Yeah. Wait, but Nebula wears clothes.
That's true.
I guess, did he get the clothes when he landed to Earth?
I have no idea. I didn't meet him when he landed. I met him later.
I don't think any of us knew him yet.
So I wouldn't know.
Hey, how did we even get in contact with Nebula?
Same way we get in contact with everyone else who joins our show. They just show up. They just show up.
How did we make contact with Nebula? But
oh boy.
That was accidental. That was terrible. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what other planets would think of Earth.
Wait, hold on. Did you answer the thing? How did we get in contact with
I said the same way we would do with everyone else who comes on our show. They just kind of show up. I don't know. I think Phineas must bring them in or something. They kind of just show up, and it's like, oh, look, here they are.
He probably came in unannounced, because obviously, if he doesn't know simple concepts like, oh, what's a stove? Like, he didn't know, like, very simple stuff like that. Like, so very obviously he wouldn't know what, like, an audition or anything is, or, like, being screened into something is. Like, he probably just, like, came in through the window or whatever he did.
That's true. I don't know. I just walked into work one day and saw him there, and I'm like, oh, cool.
I remember that day. That was a weird day because, like, I had something to do where I came in a little late, and you were like, oh yeah, Ozzie, there's an alien in the other room, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, Tank, and you were like, no, really, I got proof, and I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, and we're like, yeah, everybody was here today, you just happened to miss it, and I'm like, oh, I'm obviously thinking you're like joking me, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, everybody else got to see it except for me, oh boy, and you're like, no, literally go into the other room before he leaves, and I walked in, and of course he's bigger than us, he was like this big kid. And I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, okay, that is very obviously not a thing that comes from Earth. And to be fair, there's monsters all over planet Earth.
That is true.
That all look different. But, like, the thing on his head, very obviously not Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So I guess, that being said, it sounds like we're reaching the end of our wonderful alien chat. Is there any other...
This was a very funny TLDR because we started talking about, like, the hypotheticals of aliens, and then, like, more than halfway through, Tank remembers that we know one.
I already knew he existed, okay? I did not forget about him.
So
I did not forget about him.
At least I admitted it.
I did not forget about Nebula.
Oh, you totally did. He was over here laughing. You all heard him. You all can go back.
I didn't forget. Listen. I totally remembered my friend, Nebby. The Neb Man.
You have never called him that, ever.
I totally call him that all the time.
Anyways, fellas, this is the end of our podcast. We thank you so much for watching. Come back for the next episode. We'll talk about something pretty funny then. But until then, I need to go make sure that Tank's screws are all fairly tightened. They're always a little loose, but I'll make sure that they get nice and tight for the next podcast.
Be sure,
just go on, like having a system reboot halfway through. All right, fellas?
Be sure to subscribe and comment and like. And if you want your artwork featured in a future episode, be sure to send it to itsozzyandtank@gmail.com. And
don't
we
forget
will...
about your grandmas in the P.O. box.
Yes, if you have grandmas you want us to rate to decide who is the world's greatest grandma and who deserves the world's greatest grandma mug, let us know. But please get your grandma's permission before sending her picture in.
Yeah, and don't do it unless you're 18 years or older.
Yes, and if you have...
Without a parent's permission.
Yes. Get your parents' permission and send us artwork to feature in the credits. That sounded mean and demanding. I'm sorry. If you have artwork you would like to share with us, please feel free to send it in to itsozzyandtank@gmail.com.
Nah, Tank, you gotta be assertive. Send it. Send all
No.
Please,
Please, if you do feel so obliged, send your artwork in.
Yes. Chip, cheerio, I'm British and I'm polite. No, yeah, this and that, if you would be so kind.
You know what? You're gonna offend all of our British viewers.
Yeah, I gotta go.
All two of them.
We should end it here because
alright.
He's coming.
Thank you guys.
Tank.
I'll see you next time. Bye.